So what's going on, you guys? So I wanted to make a video for you guys that's basically in regards to something that's been ongoing for a while. You're all aware of it. You're all probably aware of what I'm about to talk about in this video, and I'm going to try to just get through it with no jump cuts, just me talking to you guys. So this video might be a little longer. I might stammer a little bit more than I usually do, but I just want to be direct. I want to try to avoid any and all edits that I can. I'm also going to warn you all right now, I'm going to get into territory that I'm not usually getting into on my channel, but it's something that I feel has been needed to talk about for a while. So I learned earlier this morning, I checked my Twitter feed for some movie news that I follow and everything like that, and I recently discovered that it has now been confirmed. We were not really sure what was going to happen for a while, but it has been confirmed that Amber Heard, or Amber Turd as I prefer to call her, will reprise her role as Mara in Aquaman the Lost Kingdom, the Aquaman sequel. And I have a lot of thoughts on this, some of which you may very much disagree with. I'm just going to warn you right now, if you don't want to hear me get into a side of, basically why I've had problems with the modern day feminist movement for many, many years now, you should probably just leave my video, because you're going to hear things you're not going to like. I also understand that there's a good chance this video could maybe cost me subscribers, possibly cost me support on YouTube, but frankly, I don't care. YouTube is an outlet for people to express themselves, and that's exactly what I'm going to do here. I'm going to express myself and express my opinion. So, I have a lot of problems with Amber Heard returning in her role. Unless you've been living under a rock, you're aware that about, I think it was a year ago, there was the big infamous trial of Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard. For those of you who don't know, basically how it all started, Amber Heard spoke to, I believe, she did an interview with, I think, the Washington Post. I could be wrong on that one. But in this post, she was talking about how Johnny Depp was this horrible, evil, just abusive person to her in their marriage. Basically was physically abusing her, being sexually violent with her, just doing unspeakable things to her. Like, absolutely just destroying her, is basically how she described it in the interview with the Washington Post. And the Washington Post decided that before they even gathered enough information to be like, well, geez, these are some very serious accusations that Amber is making towards Johnny Depp. Maybe we should wait until there's concrete evidence before we put this out there for the world to see, because this could really ruin a man's life. But no, they didn't do that. They put it out there for everyone to see it. And in the wake of cancel culture, in the wake of the Me Too movement, Johnny Depp pretty much lost everything that he had. Career-wise anyway. Disney announces that he will no longer be a part of the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise if and when that moves forward, which means he will no longer play Captain Jack Sparrow in a movie again, which is extremely disappointing because Johnny Depp has stated that is his favorite movie role of all time. That's my favorite Johnny Depp performance. I think Captain Jack Sparrow is one of the greatest movie characters of all time, probably top 10 all time for me personally. And he was also going to lose his role as Grindelwald in the Fantastic Beasts series. He was replaced by Mads Mikkelsen. Now, granted, I don't think those movies are very good, but regardless, he loses that role and got dumped by his agency. No one was picking him up. Many people wanted him in jail. People were calling him just horrible things. And this all occurred during the Me Too movement, which is, when a lot of women out there were, coming forth about, sexual assaults they'd experienced and, things that they were kind of forced to keep quiet about. And this was basically Amber Heard's Me Too story. Now, in this case, they go to trial. Well, Johnny Depp takes Amber Heard to trial. He sues her for defamation because he has adamantly stated that these accusations are not true. So, it goes to court. It goes to trial, and Amber Heard is absolutely laughed out of court. She completely butchers everything, answering the questions, handling the jury. But more so than that, we get some real evidence that while the relationship between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard was clearly toxic, she was doing the majority of the abusing. Like, she was physically hitting him. She was being wildly disrespectful towards him. She took a shit in his bed. That's why I call her Amber Turd. Like, this woman is a psychopath. This woman is insane. And all of that is proven. Johnny Depp wins his defamation case against her. He's awarded like $10 million. And Amber Heard is completely just shredded in court. Like, she's torn apart. And ironically, that all happens. And yet, she gets to keep her role in the new Aquaman. That was a big question for a long time. It's like, is she going to still have her role? It's like, she's now been proven that she's the abuser, that she's the asshole. She's the one who's being a piece of shit to her partner. And yet Hollywood's like, no, we're still going to keep her in there. Aquaman Lost Kingdom, we're like, nope, we're keeping her in there. We're not going to recast her, even though it's not like her role in the movie. It's not like she completely made it her own. It's not like she was spectacular in the role or anything like that. I mean, if she was gone, no one would fucking give a shit. There were reports that maybe Emilia Clarke was going to replace her or something like that. But no, she's still in it. And I have a real problem with that. Because in this case, Johnny Depp literally is merely accused of doing these horrible things to his wife. He's accused of it. No concrete evidence, he's just accused. And he literally loses everything. Loses all the roles that he was entitled to, that he was supposed to portray. That's all gone. Amber Heard is laughed out of court. All of it is proven for the world to see. But she gets to stay in this massive movie that no doubt she's making millions of dollars from. And that makes absolutely no sense. Like, why is she not canceled? Why is she not being removed? How come she hasn't been fired? Especially when 4.5 million fans signed a petition for her to go. This didn't happen because the double standard is just ridiculous. I've mentioned everyone before, this is the problem I have with modern day feminism. This is the real problem that I have with it. I know that's gonna make a lot of people really upset with me, but you've seen in a few of my videos, I refer to modern day feminism as feminazis. Because modern day feminism, what feminism is supposed to represent is just equality for women. You know, equal rights for women across the board. Frankly, I don't have any problems with that. I don't care if a woman makes as much as I do. I don't care if a woman is given the same rights as men. Frankly, they should be. Stay on that right now. But what I don't like about what modern day feminism has become is it's become equality for women, but when it suits women. And that's terrible. That's the way feminazis see it. That's kind of the way society is seeing it right now. I mean, Amber Heard did all this unspeakable shit. She treated her husband horribly. She then framed him for just being a fucking piece of shit human being. People wanted this guy in jail. People didn't just want him, you know, fucking fired from movies. They wanted his ass in prison. And now Amber Heard is accused of being a piece of shit. Pretty much caught doing all the horrible things to Johnny Depp that she accused him of doing. And nobody seems to care. No one seems to care. Because, like, whatever. That's a problem. That is a real problem. Because at that point, you know, it's just making Hollywood look really bad in that sense. You know? It's like, the thing that really boggles my mind too are the women that are trying to defend Amber Heard. It's like, do people not understand, in a lot of ways, this is now going to set women back, like, 20 years? Because now it's going to be no longer like, hey, believe women when they come forward with a charge or anything like that. Because now people are going to point to Amber Heard. It's like, what if they're a pathological liar like her? What if they're fucking crazy like she is? So it really boggles my mind that there are so many women out there that want to defend her. And it really it gets under my skin that, you know, a woman can do these things and just get off scot-free. But if a man does it, he has to go to prison for the rest of his life, or maybe not necessarily that much, but lose everything he cares about. I think that's disgusting. I think that's horrible. And that's why, if you're really a feminist, you should look at Amber Heard and be like, no, you have to suffer now. Okay, you have to lose your career. You have to lose all these roles. But no, that doesn't happen. So that is why I'm standing here right now and I'm saying there is a real chance I'm not going to go see Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Now, normally, when I come forward with a statement like this, or not really when I come forward, that's not the right way to put it. When people come out and say, like, I'm boycotting this, or I'm avoiding this, or I'm not going to this, typically I give those people a lot of shit, like, oh my god, like, separate art from artist, you know, it's important that we do that, we have to do that. But this just hits different with me because of the fact that, you know, it just doesn't feel justified. It doesn't feel right. I mean, Johnny Depp literally gets canceled from everything, but Amber Heard gets to completely keep her job. That's not right. That's not justified. I think Warner Brothers has handled this very, very poorly. I think they absolutely should have gone and recast Amber Heard, reshot any scene with Mara. I mean, I think it's going to hurt Aquaman and Lost Kingdom in the long run. Because I know I'm not the only one in the world who feels this way. I know there are other people out there who feel this strongly about it. And that's why they might discover quickly that Aquaman and Lost Kingdom may not make that much money. It may not be that successful. Unless it's getting the kind of reports that The Flash is getting, where it's like, oh my gosh, it's the most insane superhero movie ever. In that case, others might go see it, and you know what? Even then, I'll probably go see it, which will make this video for nothing. But, you know, I do hope, deep down, and I've said before, that I don't root for movies to fail. I don't root for people to fail, but man, if there's a movie that I would kind of hope fails just to send a little message to Hollywood, to all these social movements that are going on out there, it's that people are listening. It's that people are aware that something's wrong. Something's wrong in this whole system of equality. Because funny enough, I've had this conversation with many different friends of mine. It's like, when a woman goes through a very abusive relationship, the guy's a terrible piece of shit and should lose everything. Which, you know, I don't necessarily disagree with. But when you flip the roles, no one gives a shit. Like, people laugh at the guy for being upset, being hurt, being broken. Like, no one cares in that sense. And this is a prime example of that right here. Johnny Depp lost everything, got abused to shit, and no one fucking cares. No one wants to look at Amber Heard and be like, she should be punished for it. The fact that she's being rewarded by getting to star in a massive superhero movie, I just think is insane. I think it's completely unjustified, and because of that, I genuinely hope Aquaman and Lost Kingdom does not do well. Because I want them to see, I'm hoping that the world can see that this isn't right. It's not good. It's not a good look for Warner Brothers. As much as people might say it's not a good look if Marvel keeps Jonathan Majors because of his accusations, I hope people feel the same way here. Now, I could be entirely wrong. Maybe she's not in the movie much, or maybe she's really good in the movie, and hey, maybe the movie makes a lot of money, and maybe I'm wrong. And maybe it deserves a lot of money. We'll see. But, you know, different video for you guys. Had to get this little rant off my chest. I understand some of you may not agree with me, and hey, guess what? If you don't, it's fine. You know, this is my YouTube channel. This is my outlet. This is how I express my opinion. That's all this is at the end of the day, is my opinion. So I'm sure it might be tough, but hopefully we can keep things respectful in that comment section down there. Let's hopefully see if we can do that for each other. But anyways, that's all I gotta say. So guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, don't forget to leave a comment, like, subscribe. I'll see you all next time.